Hello, everybody, and thank you for allowing me to spend some minutes with you today. Today's an amazing day for me. I have a household of 5. My second oldest child has been accepted to Georgia State on a full ride for academics. So I'm a little kind of crazy right now. We're all set up in her dorms, and it's super exciting, but I have to say I'm a little nervous as well, doing the COVID and some of the problems that are out there. I'm excited to be here, and thank you again for your time. I'm Pete Kelly. I'm the owner of the Courage brand, and our mission is to spread the word of courage using skateboards and apparel as the medium. We can be found at thecouragebrand.com. Courage brand started in 2016 after my own self-battles of moving forward with my goals and my dreams. My wife noticed I needed a little help to keep me centered. So she grabbed a paint pen marker and wrote the word courage on my grip tape. And grip tape is a part of a skateboard that you see on this front slide here. And that's the actual board and the actual paint pen marker that she put on the board. I look down at that word courage every single day, and it allows me to subconsciously hype myself up to keep pushing and to land a trick. And I'm landing tricks not just on the skateboard, but within business and with myself as a person. The Courage brand over the last 8 months has evolved to more than just skateboarding and clothing. Now it's a movement to elevate the human. We're supporting industries of all types on influential marketing, creative, social media services, sales support, and my own personal appearances and doing kind of things like this, mastermind talks and TED Talks. We work really hard with brands and companies out there to bridge the gap between the core and the corporate, attracting the youth, which is your companies and most companies' future end users. So we kind of help engage what the youth is involved in, what's the new trends on the marketplace, and what do you have to do today to capture them tomorrow? Well, how did I get here and why skateboarding is probably a question that everybody that's watching this today. I'd like to share some facts and some stats about skateboarding and where it's headed and what's going on within the industry today. There's 11 million participants and it's growing consistently. Brands like Nike, Adidas, Converse all have major stake in skateboarding, and they're committing millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to make footwear supporting the most advanced skateboarders. And then also they're making footwear for everyday lifestyle end users because they know what those youth guys that are going to be older guys later want, and they're able to carry that over year after year. Crazy things has happened yesterday. I'm not sure if a lot of people follow fashion or footwear, but it's kind of one of my passions. Louis Vuitton just joined the skateboarding world yesterday, and they're offering their first skateboarding-specific footwear line. They're creating a whole marketing and advertising program behind it, and they've actually picked up one of the world's best street skateboarders out of Jamaica, and his name's Lucien Clark. So we're going to see a lot from Louis Vuitton, which means also we're going to see a lot from all of those other big brands out there trying to understand and learn how to capture that audience. So I was real excited about that. Skateboarding in its market and all the industries that kind of base themselves off skateboarding, it's a $4.8 billion annual revenue, and it's continuously growing. So we know that something positive is happening with this revenue stream. The big thing for most of us right now, and I'm real excited about after my 40 years of riding a skateboard and competing and doing everything, the Olympics, we're going to have 2 events, a street event and then a vertical event. So this has really increased the participation. It's increased the clothing, the hard goods, everything to go along with it. And we're seeing more and more public skate parks owned by the cities, owned by the states, owned by the counties being built, dozens every month. Right now, we're sitting at about 941 public skate parks around the whole United States. So we know that skateboarding and its industries, the fashion it brings, is blowing baseball out of the water. It's a big statement, but that's what's actually happening right now. With 85 million skateboarders worldwide in 2019, I think skateboarding is transforming not just skateboarders and skateboarding, but we're transforming fashion, we're transforming footwear, we're transforming video games. When you see companies like Activision and PlayStation, they're selling 500 million copies of Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarder game throughout all of the series, 1 through 4, which they're at the 4th version now. So we know that there's a heavy-duty impact there. So what I do at Courage Brand is I help companies navigate the streets and avenues of skateboarding and its industries. And I want to help engage those within companies' marketing and promotion departments. And if they're going to come out with a brand, they need to come to a company like ours and say, how do we do this properly so we don't look like we're trying to do something out of the norm? AKA, people call them posers. I don't want any brand to look like a poser, so we're here to kind of help them through that. Little bit of terminology there. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I also want to share my personal story of why the company's name is Courage, because I'm always turning defeat into courage and what it took for me to do that. So I'm going to set a little scene for you, and then you guys can follow along with me. It was 1979 in Trenton, New Jersey. It was red in color. It sat alone in the fresh cut grass. It spoke to me and millions other of freedom and escape. 3rd grade in Trenton, New Jersey was no joke. The school system had failed my expectations of getting a normal education. And the labeling had started. The supersized testing and the results had factored into my future. As my teacher said to me and explained to me, the best you'll have is you'll work for this city as a garbage man. I don't know if anybody understands Trenton, New Jersey, but you definitely don't want to work as the city garbage man in Trenton, New Jersey. Well, that didn't sit well. I was floored. I couldn't understand why these teachers, and at that time in society, had processed my future for me. Some people called it learning disabilities, and maybe they used words like, yo, he's a little slower than the other kids. It's okay. But for me, it was dyslexia and an eye stigmatism. Several doctors and therapists and my parents never gave up. They always questioned these test results. And each teacher and doctor had gave them these roles. And my father especially was like, yo, that's not it. That's wrong. So I repeated schools, public, private, and liberal. All those schools gave me the same result. You're a 3 at life, buddy. And that just did not settle with me. So at this time, I poured my energy into sports. I went and played soccer, basketball, track, swimming, football. And if my grades could not get me into college, then maybe sports could. Well, that didn't last long for me. Soccer, I was too slow. Basketball, I'm only 5'6". It's not going to work. Track, I am too slow too. Swimming, I'm not wearing Speedos. That's just not my steez. I didn't like that. Football, I'm 115 pounds. I'm getting destroyed. So nothing I tried made me happy. And nothing I did wanted me to keep continuing with life. I was pretty depressed. Didn't know what to do. So back to the red object that was sitting in the grass. It was a skateboard. I was gravitating it towards it more and more every day. I started to see the great freedom of skateboarding with no coaches, no teachers, and no rules. No one to tell me that I'll be 3rd or best in life. Nothing. It was the beginning of a 40-year relationship with skateboarding and the education skateboarding offered me. It was like getting a lifelong Montessori education through my own experiences. I want to share something with you. I'm 48. This video that I'm about to show you guys, I just did about 7 months ago. The video has been very successful online and through all the social media, but this shows my determination that I'm not just going to be third or a failure or a garbage man, but I'm going to do something that I want to do. And courage drove me that direction. May and Kelsey, would you mind playing the video? I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you, Kelsey, for playing that video. I hope everybody enjoyed that video. Could we go to the next slide, please? Turning defeat into courage. I learned from my mistakes. Most people call them slams, on and off the skateboard. Temporary defeat has conditioned me in some strange way. The more I slammed, we can go back to one slide. The more I slammed, the better I got at life and skateboarding. So over the years, overcoming uncertainty and pain, I've continued with courage to stay on top of my game. Skateboarding, always adapting to the future and progression of skateboarding and its industries. No matter if it's board changes, technology changes, I have always stayed on top. And if I had to learn, I pushed myself to learn. I strongly believe you can teach an old dog new tricks, using firmness and purpose and inspiration that I learned from skateboarding. I took the determination to the business world. I opened up my first retail store at 18 called Unity Skateboards and Records out of Pensacola, Florida. I sold that brand when I was 20 years old to a major skateboard brand in California for a substantial amount of money. I started brands and movements along the way. For the next 20 years, I entered as many skateboard contests around the country as possible. I built a name for myself. I swooped up endorsements, sponsorships, and cash money along the way. I have worked with huge brands like Samsung, Cartoon Network, AT&T, Adidas, and I'm currently working with Skull Candy Audio, which is a very huge supporter of skateboarding and board sports across the country. And I'm very excited to let everybody know this. While working with Skull Candy, as of Monday, I was able to, through my company, sign Skull Candy's products to all AT&T and Cricket authorized dealers around the whole country. It took a lot of courage to do that. It took 7 months of working hard, getting up early, understanding their business. But I realized that every small defeat I had, I was able to get back up and try again. So why have I succeeded when so many other people have counted me out? I've learned from my mistakes. There's them slams on and off the skateboard. The more I slammed and thought about it, the better I came at skateboarding in life. And that's why that slide is there. You can fail a ton, actually fail more than succeeding. And it's made me happier. The one reward from all of these battles is that my family has always gotten what they needed. I press on with consistent purpose to adapt and get a better life every single day. I've created a slide. Would you go to the next slide, please? I created this acronym for everybody to look at today. This acronym means a lot to me. Of course, it says skate. Slams. We know that those are setbacks and failures. I've had a ton of those. Actually, I've had 21 broken bones. My family, my wife and my father and my mother got very used to bringing me to the emergency room, and I got to know them people very, very well. And I got to also learn how to self-diagnose my problems and things that I was falling apart with. It's been a long journey. And on June 21st of this year, which is Go Skateboarding Day, National Go Skateboarding Day, so we do have our own day, I was skateboarding, I fell, and I broke my elbow. 8 weeks later, using my theory, I'm back on the skateboard. I take a lot of time to create my destiny. And with these slams, it holds me back, but I don't let it. And maybe you'll have some slams in your life, and I don't want you to let those slams hold you back. I want you to learn from them. K, create. Well, it's C, but we'll call it K. If everyone's the same, nothing new is happening. New brings new opportunity and profit. The Courage brand is one of my most current new creations, and I'm embracing it every day. Allow. Allow yourself to be uncomfortably, consistently uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Because when you're uncomfortable, you'll learn. My example for being uncomfortable is each day I wake up at 3:15 a.m. I know that sucks. Nobody can imagine waking up at 3:15 a.m. But when I wake up, that's my time. That's my time to create. That's my time that I know it's quiet. So I'm using that time correctly. And today, even today, 3:15 at the skate park by 6:15 in the morning, watching the sun rise by 7 and landing a few tricks and posting them on my pages. Timing. Timing's everything. Set your timeline in your agenda each day. Concentrate on that agenda. Concentrate on that timeline. All of these opportunities will open. Watch what's happening in your industry. Create new opportunities and create new ideas and share them with the rest of the industry, even though you may think it's crazy. Even though it may be a slam from your boss, your friends, and your associates, you keep trying. E, education. And I think that's where we're all at. Education is consistent with the slams. You're going to educate yourself over and over again. Did I do this right? Why didn't it turn out the way it was supposed to? What can I learn from it? So it's basically self-education as well as industry education. And talk to others. Learn from their mistakes as well. Can we go to the next slide? I like this slide. I have this slide actually in my living room. It's never too late to start with a new mindset. This is a picture of me in the beginning of this summer, shot by a famous photographer, Jeffrey Mustache, for a famous brand that you all probably know, Vans Footwear. I was excited to have the opportunity to shoot this photo. The trick did land it. It's on video footage. I want you to prepare your mind and prepare it for consequences of your actions. My actions there were, if I didn't make it, I'm not going to come out of this nicely. But I saw it through and I came out nicely. So ask for help, yet accept your fear of the unknown wholeheartedly. Take a risk and drop in. We could change the slide, please. This is something that my father, through all of my childhood years, has taught me. I want everybody to read this and understand this and keep it close to your heart, because I do. I'm Pete Kelly. right now is the time to act. What I suggest is get a fresh notebook, record your ideas for change, analyze your risks, and drop in. Thank you guys for your time. If you feel like you need to get in contact with me, I'm at thecouragebrand.com, pkinit@me.com. Feel free to contact me anytime.